r/ask Reddit. What do you believe to be 100% bullshit? American megachurches. I bet Jesus would not be a fan. Much like the New York Jets, they have the ability to make an entire stadium full of people stand up and shout Jesus Christ. There was one near where I lived in Knoxville, TN, that had a, literally, I would imagine, goddamn drive-through prayer booth with a suggested donation. You could pick up a blessing on the way home like a ducking 5-layer burrito. Only the burrito is cheaper and more fulfilling, and quite possibly made by a guy named Jesus. Most of my excuses for staying up late. You have excuses. I just keep looking at the clock and hating myself. One more hooker in GTA V. The video trailer ads for mobile gaming. 99% of people cannot solve level 2. If you reach the beach level, you're legally a genius. Anyone can do what they want if they put their mind to it. Found this out the hard way. I, too, wanted to be a dog when I grew up. Edit. The wholesomeness of this thread makes me want to be a dog again. You are who you choose to be. Superman. Ask me anything's in quick fix to get 13 abs and minus 45% body fat in 3 microseconds. No gym needed ever again. If there was a quick fix that actually worked, then we'd all be shredded. Reality is, there is no substitute for hard work and dedication. My wife just recently lost a lot of weight and freaking everybody asks how did you do it. Then when she says diet and exercise, mostly they get this disappointed look like they thought she was going to have some crazy new secret. Like, come on, we have figured out weight loss. Eat fewer calories than you burn. Just because people don't want to do it doesn't mean there's a better answer. She should start telling them that she covered herself in honey every night for 3 months. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Norm Macdonald once said something to the effect of whatever doesn't kill you makes you seriously weak, you know, because it almost killed you. What about polio? Carl Pilkington. Nutrition science has a very high noise to signal ratio. Edit. What you want to do is cook yourself food from scratch using raw ingredients. Processed food prepared in commercial or industrial settings is associated with obesity and other poor health outcomes. www.nkb, NLM, NIT, Gov PMC articles PMC 5,787,353. And I hate this. Proper nutrition is such an important part of being healthy, mentally and physically, but you try to get any legit info or research and all that you'll find is bullshit, crazy ass diet trends and superfoods, and solve all your problems with this one weird trick and MLMs and untested vitamins. God forbid you have a legit need for nutritional info or actually care to better your intake without going to some trendy fly-by-night diet. Detoxers. This drink will cleanse your insides. Kidneys, liver. Are we a joke to you? Money can't buy happiness. Personally, I'd much rather be crying in a Mercedes than on public transportation. I believe there was a study that there's a magic area of money for happiness. Like within that range is the optimal place to be. It allows you some freedom and security, but doesn't cause the excess problems, etc. I'll have to Google that sometime. I think earning above 75k or something like that doesn't make you more happy. I also don't remember the exact figure. Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. So, gets taken off suicide watch, and his cellmate for his suicide attempt has apparently been threatened by guards not to talk about it. Received a visit from a young, attractive lawyer who nobody seems to know and spent a couple hours with her in a private room. Guards fell asleep and didn't check on him for 3 hours, and now the footage from the camera outside his room is unusable. I usually consider most conspiracy theories to be complete bullshit, but there are so many unusual circumstances here. Edit. I didn't mention the broken neck bones that were consistent with homicide by strangulation because it does happen in hanging cases, although not frequently. For anyone looking for links to any of the points mentioned above, Epstein's former cellmate warned. https://www.businessincida.com Jeffrey Epstein jail guards warn cellmate discuss suicide lawyer 2019-8 visit from a young, attractive female lawyer that nobody knows. https://www.forbes Cites Richard Baha / the 15th of August 2019 Jeffrey Epstein spent time alone with young female prison visitor / guards asleep. https://www.nighttimes.com The 13th of August 2019 Agent Jeffrey Epstein jail officers. HTML footage from camera outside his cell unusable. https:// fairhill.com home news /458,922 video from camera outside Epstein jail cell unusable report. Sounds to me like Tartaglione was falsely blamed for earlier attacks on Epstein to justify moving him out of the way. Plausible deniability because he is no longer a witness. That Google values privacy. They do value it. I'd say at least $1 worth. Those star things that predict your entire life by when you were born. Horoscopes and astrology. The reason it works is because of how vague they are and how they very carefully go with traits that can apply to almost anyone. Without knowing you at all, I can pretty much predict that you're worried about a relationship in your life, family, romantic, or friend, which everyone has at least one. That you are concerned about your finances. Pretty much unless you're Bill Gates you worry about money, and that you're concerned with your work school. Because who isn't? But at no point did I specifically mention anything in your personal life. There's also confirmation bias. Maybe you're doing fine with relationships and your finances are good, but my horoscope I gave you mentioned a work conflict and you made a mistake at work and the boss yelled at you. Well, you don't say hey, the guy said my relationships and finances were in trouble, but they aren't. He's full of it. But you do say whoa, he nailed how I'd have work problems. And now you think I'm awesome at horoscopes. It's how fortune tellers make their living. Look up cold reading sometime. It's pretty fascinating to see that aspect of human nature. I think some people learn the archetype of their horoscope sign early on, by their parents, and they migrate towards that as they grow. It's a subtle, unconscious influence that can happen in malleable children. Vaccines cause autism. www.howdovaccinescauseautism.com. Facebook. Same. I just quit Facebook. Now all you need to do is lawyer up and hit the gym. That video games cause violence and make you a murderer. I just wanna build my dirt hut with soft piano music and peace without being told it's gonna make me shoot up the school. I started playing Minecraft the day it was released for Xbox and never progressed beyond dirt huts. Scientology. Xenu is coming for you. That's fine, Rax shot Goonie'll be waiting. That I died before the guy I was shooting at did, when I obviously shot him in the head before they even saw me. This is on any shooting game ever, usually online MP. Usually means lag on either end. When server always takes the local copy of what happened for an action like a shot fired. Even though you are someplace else, the shot still registers because the server accepts the shot damage from the other person to your head from the lagged copy. At least my understanding of it in layman's terms. Flat Earth. The Earth is actually shaped slightly like a bowl. That's how all the water stays in. I for one cannot believe that people think that Earth is flat. It is clearly a donut. Horoscopes. My eyes glaze over when I hear talking about their signs. They're just excuses people use for their behavior that they don't want to address. I'm so temperamental. I'm such a Taurus. No, you're just rude. No, Karen, you're just a beach. What annoys me extra about horoscopes and star signs is that they aren't even correct within their own belief system. They believe that which constellation you are born under affects your personality, but the dates they use to determine what constellation you were born under is thousands to years out of date. No one is actually born under the constellation they think they were. Love at first sight. There is lust at first sight, sexual interest at first sight maybe, but love needs time. It's because when the thing develops into love, people retcon it in hindsight as being love at first sight. Gluten-free dieters. My sister claims to have celiac even though her tests came back negative. She forces the diet on her children. My niece stayed with me over the summer and accidentally got into a bag of wheat puffs. Ate the whole bag and had no issues. I get that people actually have the disease, but there are so many soccer moms jumping on every new Facebook illness fad diet. Edit. I know folks cut out gluten for a lot of reasons, and I'm not trying to put down anyone that does. Just feel bad for my niece and needed to vent. My dad and his wife went gluten-free a while ago. They don't claim to be celiac, though. They just say they feel much better and healthier eating that way, which is all fine and good, except for the fact that they never stop ducking talking about it. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I think people fail to understand what celiac disease actually is, so they try a gluten-free diet. They eat less processed food and feel better, so they tell all their friends how great it is to be gluten-free. In reality, any diet that kept them away from McDonald's and Little Debbie cakes would have worked. I went to art school and I run a gallery. Academic art. Contemporary art shows consisting of found objects, masking tape, cardboard, paint splatters, arranged just so is 100% emperor's clothing. Rich kid popularity contest bullshit. Most classes literally gave advice on how to bullshit. I dare anyone to distinguish any page from art forum from this artist statement generator. People seem to have forgotten that abstract expressionism was funded by the CIA, simply to be confusing to the Russians, and everything since then has been derivative of literal bullshit, which has less substance than admitted bullshit. I have found the tech industry to be 100% more supportive of actual creativity. God, you're king for this comment. I'm in art school at the moment and sometimes the shit just breaks me. I go into the student gallery and I see a whole collection of postmodern, ironic, lazy works that will end up either in our landfill bin or some rich chump's apartment, and something in me just collapses. It's been difficult for me to get the direction I need for my practice because the professors are indoctrinated in a line of thought that criticizing technique and effort and skill put into something is wrong thought. The reason I make art in the first place is because it allows me to create a kind of world that I am in control of and thus can be free of the evil and ugliness of the real world. And what I see every day in contemporary art is a collective spit in the face of discipline and craft in the name of shallow irony and shock value. I'm very disillusioned by it all. And thank you for mentioning the postmodernist art CIA psyop thing. No one ever believes me when I tell them. That's how I pass my sculpture class in high school. My dragon wireframe sculpture isn't resting on his tail because I screwed up the balance. He's resting on his tail as an artistic statement about how even the most powerful require support. Religion being used as an excuse for shitty behavior. Ghosts. We have thousands of years of recorded human existence under our collective belts at this point. 0 instances of repeatable, proven instances of ghosts. Yo, smartphone users, were you at one this one? You record the most random shit, but can't snap one of a ghost over the years of aggregated opportunities? I talked to the UFO people about this one, but I know from past experience I'll just get excuse after excuse. Pretty amusing how there seem to be less UFO videos around now with every single person owning a smartphone than there were 20 years ago when you needed to be carrying a bulky camcorder. That J.K. Rowling had it all planned from the beginning. There's way too much show. And remember that one thing mentioned once 5 books ago? It's also relevant. It's totally a horcrux. For me to believe that for 1 second. Depends on what you mean. Stuff like certain horcruxes seem legit. The Hallows, however, I certainly doubt, since it's a totally irrelevant thing until the last book goes, oh, these are old and well-known stories everyone knew all along. Apparently it's pretty common when writing a series that they throw all sorts of little things out there, mention an important piece of jewelry, or an overheard tale. Then later on when they need to bring things together they go back through the list and see what fits now. Often many of them are discarded and only mentioned that one time. Means you've got lots of plot pieces to use if things change direction in the future. That local housewives milfs teen slaps want to have no strings attached sex with me. Homeopathy. I have to be careful with how much information I give out, as it is fairly easy to Google foo 3 or 4 bits and know who I am talking about, and I don't need any more hassle from the homeopathy mafia. My other half's family have several people involved in homeopathy. One has published several books, is a well-known name and made a significant amount of money from it. I have seen people prescribed sugar tablets for everything from athlete's foot to cancer. 5 years ago Maine. Published person gets a cancerous growth. Straight into a private hospital. Surgery. Chemo. Not a sugar tablet in sight. Their partner has early onset dementia. Best care. Years worth of different combinations of drugs. Now they are back to their old selves most of the time. 2 other family members have had cancer treatment and 1 had IVF. Again, this has been covered as an accessory in one of the books if you take the sugar tablets. Too long didn't read. A family that have made millions from homeopathy have used standard medical and surgical procedures for all of their illnesses. You're homeophobic. Mystics, mediums, psychics, and all the others out there. If magic were real, whoever had that power wouldn't try to make $50 a turn off of it. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.